All right, today I'm going to give you some hints and tips for completing the graphing lines and catching zombies activity. The directions say solve each equation for slope-intercept form. So you're isolating y. List the slope and the y-intercept. Once they are all solved, check your answers to get a graphing paper. Now, your graphing paper is attached, but I would highly recommend solving all of them for y first, your answers before you start graphing. Otherwise, you may waste a lot of time if you graph the wrong thing and then come back. Now, because this is just some hints and a little tutorial, I will graph as I go. So a few reminders for you. When we look at y equals mx plus b, our b value is where we start. So we're always going to start on our y-axis. So here's our y-axis. Okay, we're always going to start on the y-axis at our y-intercept. Now, if there is not a constant, for example, this one, it would just be 0. Okay, so if there's not a constant, our y-intercept is 0, so we're starting at the origin. And then we use the m value, our slope, and that tells us where to go from our y-intercept. So we're going to rise. If it's positive, we go up. If it's negative, we go down, overrun, and we always go to the right. Now again, if this is a whole number, we would just put that whole number over 1. Okay, so for example, on the second one, there is no coefficient of x, so it would just be 1 over 1. So we'd go rise 1, so up 1 over 1. For the second one, we'd go up 2, right 1. Okay, so there's a couple hints for you there. We're going to do one together, and I'm going to do the very, very first one. So we're going to start on negative 15. And my graph is so tiny, but you're going to get the right idea here. We're going to start on negative 15, and I'm going to go down 1 and right 4 from that point. So something like this. And down 1, right 4 again, and down 1, right 4 again. And again, I'm going to use this straight edge here to create my line, and so that I can adjust it appropriately. It needs to go through my y-intercept, and then down 1, right 4. Adjust this, and I need to adjust the other side. Down 1, right 4. So here it's hitting, and you'll see that it's really close to 2 zombies. But based on my graph, it's hitting the leg of this zombie. So I'm going to write the equation y equals negative 1 over 4x minus 15. And again, it's so tiny. I'm just writing the best I can. But there's a little start for you here on this section. Let's go to the next section. In this section, it says when not in y equals mx plus b form, solve for y and simplify. Do the parentheses first. So I'm going to just go ahead and put kind of a step-by-step here on the side. Step 1, distribute, aka multiply the number outside the parentheses by each number inside the parentheses. Okay, and then step 2 is add or subtract the constant next to the y to the opposite side. So you're using inverse operations here. Let me move this so it's not quite in the way, okay? You're using inverse operations in order to do this, okay? So let's choose, let's do the third one over. So first we are going to, well, I think line down our equal sign should always be the first step, right? But then we are going to distribute the number outside the parentheses to each side on the inside. or each term on the inside. So negative 1/4 times x would just be negative 1/4 x times negative 4 would be plus 1. And you can use your calculator to do that. You don't need to have that memorized. That leaves us with y plus 8 equals negative 1/4 x plus 1. And then we're going to subtract 8 to the other side because that's our inverse operation. Now notice I'm only subtracting 8 from the 1 because I'm only working with the constants. So y equals negative 1/4 x, and then minus 7, because 1 minus 8 is negative 7. So my y-intercept is going to be negative 7, and my slope is negative 1/4. So I'm going to start at negative 7. And again, it's so tiny, but that's about here. And again, you're going to be more accurate than me. And then I'm going to rise negative 1, meaning I'm going down 1, and then right 4 again. Oh, same as the last one. That's just a coincidence. Okay, down 1, right 4, down 1, right 4, down 1, right 4. Again, I'm estimating here. Obviously, it's not very straight. And I'm going to draw an approximate line here. Let me move that. And this one appears to be hitting this zombie over here on the side. So then I would write my original equation for this zombie. So I'm going to write y plus 8, because this is my original equation, equals negative 1/4 times x minus 4. Again, writing huge because it doesn't all fit, but that gives you an idea. Now, when I'm just doing y equals and x equals, I want you to remember that every single y value is going to be equal to 15 here. So if y is 15, I'm just going to do really big points. Every single y value is 15. Okay? If I have an x equals, every single x value would be whatever that value is, and we'll look at that in a second. So there's my hint for you on that one. And remember, you took a test on this, but remember your slope. Think about riding a bike. Can I ride a bike across this line? And how much effort, quote unquote effort, would I have to put in to ride that bike? That'll help you remember your slope. Okay, last section, and remember you're solving all these before you start graphing, but last section, in this section, we need to add or subtract the x, then divide by y, and these steps are already there. Okay, so add or subtract the x over to the other side, then divide by, and really it's the coefficient of y, because we want to isolate y. Okay, let's do the third one over again. So line down your equal sign and subtract, because it's positive 2x. So I'm going to subtract 2x over. That gives me negative 3y equals 6 minus 2x. I'm one step closer to y being all by itself. And then I'm going to divide by negative 3 on all terms. Okay, so y equals negative 2 plus 2/3 x. Because negative 2 divided by negative 3 is positive 2/3. Now, you have to be careful because your slope is your coefficient of x. So my slope is 2/3. Oops, excuse me, I wrote 3. 2 over 3. And my y-intercept is negative 2 because that's my constant. So negative 2 is where I'm starting my line. And then my positive 2/3 slopes tells me to go up 2 and right 3. So up 2, right 3. This is terrible. Up 2, right 3, and so on. I'm going to create my line again. It's a little bit easier for me to use this. When you're graphing, make sure you're using a straight edge because it makes a huge difference. And that's the little sweeping zombie. So that guy's down here. So I'm going to write my original equation, 2x minus 3y equals 6. Okay, and again, when your x values are all the same, I'm looking at this very last one, x equals 21, every single x value is going to be 21. So there's a hint for you there for x equals 21. All right, I hope this helps you get started. If you still have questions after this, please ask your teacher.